So with that, I think we'll just get right into the program. So, Salad Your Way, come on up.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. My name is Melissa Ash, and my new company is called Salad Your Way. Now, how many of you have gone to the grocery store with the intention of, I'm going to eat healthy this week, and you go and you buy all this beautiful produce, and then by the end of the week you end up throwing it away because you ran out of time to wash it and prep it and actually make all those salads. We've all been there. In fact, the average American throws away 20 pounds of produce a month. That's a lot of produce. Now, let me tell you, there is an easier way to pack in all of your veggies and your healthy eating, and it is salads in a jar. And they're beautiful and enticing to eat. Now, this is not a new concept. It has been around for years and years and years. In fact, you can find books on how to build salads in mason jars. If you Google it, you will find recipe upon recipe. So what's good about this is that it's proven to work. There's a reason that people continue to build salads in jars. And that is because if you layer it with the dressing at the bottom and then your meat, beans, veggies, fruit, lettuce, seal the jar, it will stay fresh in your fridge for 5 or 6 days. When you're ready to eat it, you shake, you dump it on a plate, and you have this beautifully prepared fresh salad. What's new about SaladYourWay.com is that you don't have to make it. You can actually find somebody to make it for you with the exact ingredients that you want. So let's kind of look at it from a consumer standpoint. It's super easy and simple to use. You go to the website, you register yourself. After that, you search for a vendor, which can be done in 2 ways. You can either search by location or by classification. So if you're paleo or vegan or want only organic or local produce, you can search for those specific vendors that supply that. And by vendors, I mean already existing restaurants, grocery stores, or caterers, anybody that is already in the food industry that has a license to prepare and sell food. Once you are registered and you pick your vendor, you can then add all the ingredients you would like to each of your salads, or you can specify that you want one of their specialty salads. You add it to your cart, you check out, they send you an email that says we accept your salad order. They will send you another email when it's ready for pickup. You go and pick up your salads in a jar, take them home, put them in your fridge, and there they wait until you need a quick, fresh, portable meal. Now, at the end of the week, you are left with all these jars. And if you order week after week after week, you're going to have quite an array of glass jars on your hands. Well, Salad Your Way vendors will accept jars back, and they will give you 50 cents off your next order per jar received. So if you order 4 jars 1 week from one vendor, you can actually return them the next week to another Salad Your Way vendor and still get $2 off that order. And they will wash and reuse all of the glass jars and lids. Now, you're probably thinking, now this is an awesome service for consumers. How do you get vendors to come on board? From a vendor standpoint, it's actually a pretty streamless. If you're familiar with Etsy, the back end of this site is similar to that. Vendors can go on and build their own storefront. They have complete control over what ingredients they offer, what salads they want to list, their prices. They can add and delete anything that they need on a daily basis, and they can watch orders come in, they can change their status, communicate with the buyer. So it's very user-friendly and very easy to set up from a vendor standpoint. Not only that, it increases their revenue without competing with their current traffic. So they can take orders in and fulfill them when there's downtime within the restaurant industry, and they're not necessarily competing with their current traffic that's coming in and wanting a table, or coming in and wanting some other type of service. They can fulfill these orders when it's not a busy time. The other thing is they can easily have more buying power with their food distributor, because they would increase the amount of food that they were buying, and it's almost guaranteed money. If you take your orders by a certain day and have them pick up a couple days later, you know exactly how much produce that you need to order, and exactly how much money that will bring in. So that's kind of an easy way for vendors to figure out how much they need to order without having it wasted. One of the other perks to it is that it increases their foot traffic. If you're ordering salads and you go pick it up on Monday, you're going to have an influx of people coming into your store on that day. And if it's normally a slow day, then it increases your sales for that overall day. So we kind of think of it as a win-win for both parties. It's kind of a side business for a already established restaurant or a grocery store or caterer. But it really fulfills the need from a consumer standpoint of wanting something fresh and healthy and portable that you can make one trip and still have these for the rest of the week. Now, the money part. It's not free. Well, it is right now, but we're just in a testing phase right now, so our only vendor is Kelly's Bakery, and so we don't charge her anything to participate on the site. Eventually, as we grow, it will be $20 a month for vendors and then a 6% per salad purchased fee. So we didn't want to scare away smaller restaurants, with too much of a high monthly cost. And then we also want to make sure that they're only paying us when they are successful. So that's kind of the reasoning for combining the monthly fee and the percentage per jar. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I will take questions if you have them. Yes?
So if you, as the customer, if I know that I want 3 salads next week, do I need to place that order by Friday or Saturday or Sunday?
That's a good question. It will totally depend on the vendor. And the vendor has the ability to choose how they want their pickup to run. So, for example, Kelly's, you have to have your order in by Saturday at 5 p.m. to pick your salad up on Monday. But it can work any way. If you're a bigger restaurant and you have the ability to make salads when orders come in, they can very much just say, we will send you an email when your salads are ready, and it could be ready 2 hours later. Or it could be one of those things where they can set it up as long as your order is in, by the end of the day at 5, you can pick it up the next day. So right now at Kelly's, she takes orders all week long until Saturday and then has to pick up on Monday only. Yes?
I think the idea is awesome. I'm just curious, how did you come to this? Was there like another company that you said I could repurpose this business model and do it this way?
Well, I was one of those people that had, would throw away tons of produce every week. And I was on Pinterest one day and saw this salad in a jar, and so I clicked on it and I was like, I'm totally doing this. And so I've been doing that for probably the last 2 years. After a month of doing it, I was like, this is takes forever, and I would really love it if I could just order this from somebody. And so I started thinking about it, and at first I went to it kind of being like a Subway and starting it as like an actual place, and I would make all the salads. And my husband said to me one day, do you really want to make salads for the rest of your life? And I was like, no. The whole point of this was so I could order it and have somebody else make it for me. He's like, okay, well then let's rethink how this is going to work. So that's kind of how we ended up with just the website and pulling in vendors that currently make salads.
Very cool.
I got to check out your website. I love the images. Those are so very drew me in. Oh, those are. I'm hungry.
Makes you want to eat salad, right?
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah.
So is the whole site custom, generally built, kind of site ground up?
Yes.
Okay. But it's in your thinking, what other, could you expand to other businesses, other product lines?
Right.
And you've got the infrastructure, which is awesome. So I tried it out, tried to break it, of course, as I do, and
Right.
I couldn't. How about that?
Oh,
Break it.
nice.
Not bad. And so I just kept thinking, have you thought about other product lines? Just sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I have. I mean, I would love to have, I think that's where I battle back and forth, where I like the easiness of this in terms of, and the choices of being able to pick vendors. The hardest part is I don't have control over the end product. So I can't guarantee that every salad's gonna look as pretty as this. Granted, these came from Kelly, so hers will always look like this. But, you know, it's an interesting, I do make vendors apply to the site so that I can have some sort of check to make sure that it's not just iceberg lettuce and French dressing. Because it's not really healthy. And I have started to think, yes, about different ways to use the same technology in a different.
It's a nicely built site, so it could be used for something else.
Right.
And so I thought that it was neat too, so Kelly's, they have their jalapeno bacon. Like, people love Kelly's jalapeno bacon, so I would buy a salad from there just because I love the bacon. Well,
I haven't tried that yet, so
It's just a bacon?
I didn't know that was a thing.
I think they like cook it and season and flavor it with bacon. I don't know how they do it. I want to find out.
Put it
Yeah. So would you envision this in like larger cities, like people
Absolutely.
like walking, I got a picture, hey, I want a salad, I was clicking it. I order from, I have delivery come from me at lunch a lot of times. And, cause I don't feel like going to the cafeteria,
Right.
whatever, so I think in a larger city, like, go and click on the thing and go and grab it.
Yeah, I do envision, for growth, we're hoping obviously to start here and then grow kind of outward into Peoria and Springfield and Champaign and go to those areas, and then eventually move to the big cities. I mean, for this to make money, it really, it's a national idea. In my head, I would like to be able to go on vacation wherever I go and be able to order my lunches for the week and just not even worry about it. So that's where I envision it going.
So just to echo what you were talking about, is the idea that you could provide a restaurant a way to make money off the produce that they're gonna throw out anyway?
Yes. And that was one of the things that Kelly was telling me. She's like, restaurants throw out a lot of produce. And this is a great way that even if, that they can use it.
Sure.
And it's, if they make it in a way and they can judge by how much they need, it really cuts down on that.
I see an interesting obstacle in the future with, for example, Kelly's Bakery wanting to say, I don't want Sell Your Way label on it, I want my label on it. Have you ever thought about like how you want to tackle that issue? Maybe having them both there, or paying
Yes.
more to replace
In
my
the-
label?
In the future, I've already got a plan set up for, as we grow, being able, for the vendors to basically be able to customize all of their print stuff. So the labels, the table tents, mailers, any of that stuff, that they can just go online, put their logos on it with ours as well, and mail out any of their brochures or new business cards, or can get their tabs and that sort of thing. So that's in the plan. It's just very costly to do that for every vendor at this point in the game. Yes.
I'm curious, when you're talking about this, you select your vendors and you're kind of doing a kind of interview process. Will you also to have more of a quality control, like if time goes on, you realize like you start getting complaints or people saying, well, it's not as looking as nice as this, or it started that way, but now we're starting to get some of the rotten stuff, some of
Yeah,
it's not as
absolutely.
quality. You already have an agreement with the vendors that they could possibly lose, or
Yes, it's in the contract that we both signed, that if we start getting bad reviews about their food not being fresh, or just bad reviews in general with how they're running that side of the business, that we can terminate the agreement. So eventually we will have the ability for consumers to rate the vendors, kind of like how Uber works, so that you can kind of judge. Because if I were traveling to a different city and I didn't know which vendor to choose with, I would probably be reading the reviews from other people to decide who I wanted to order from. So we feel like that's an important aspect to add, just maybe not right off the bat. Okay.
Seems like the target, like group of people that you're trying to go after would be the same sort of people that do Blue Apron and those kinds of services. Have you thought about like a delivery aspect of it? Because it seems like what people really want here is something healthy and really convenient.
Right.
And the next logical step would be like, I know it's a good salad, but I'm so lazy to go to the
Right.
kitchen.
I know.
Even
Yeah.
if it's what we want to get.
Like, can you just put it in my face? Yeah.
We do have it in our plans to add a delivery component, but again, it would be up to the vendors to decide whether or not they wanted to add the delivery as their, as an option. I know that there are delivery companies that partner with restaurants, so again, that could be an avenue that we go down to.
There's actually one in this space, isn't there? Isn't Edry doing that? Edry?
About, they're like helping students like make like side money.
That's what about jobs.
Okay, but they do food deliveries, don't they?
No,
No?
you might be thinking of something else.
I thought he was doing it. Anyway. I don't know.
So yeah, it's something that we've, have thought about and are
Sure.
looking into in the future for the same reason. It's easy when it's dropped at your door.
Right.
Right.
Love the idea, love the concept. Haven't had a chance to look at your site yet, and the pictures are beautiful, by the way. But just wondering, so the question I'm asking you may already be covered on your website. Do you have, the thought I had is like some sort of membership for people wanting to purchase salads? So, trying to get that repeatable business instead of somebody just purchasing one, where there's like a membership for, a week or a month or something like that, just to help,
Right.
grow your revenue.
We had a lot of discussions to figure out how we wanted to work the payment of things. And that was one of the things that we discussed in terms of, do you charge the vendor? Do you charge the consumer? Do you not charge anybody and hope to sell ads? To try and figure out the best way to pay for everything. And that was one of the things that we thought about, was doing like a subscription. So it's in the talks about offering that to, we haven't decided if we want that to go to sign up through a vendor, or if you sign up through us and then you can order from any vendor. It's a lot of talk with our accountant, because he doesn't want us to get into an accounting nightmare situation.
One thing that I saw, I thought was a genius idea, and I was trying to figure out how to do it for myself too, is Swiss Can Craft It. They did the farmer's market. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Bobby. I can't say his last name, it's a long last name. Did the farmer's market last year. Came on the scene really hot, and he got a lot of great success. But what he did over the winter was he had a winter bread program for a set period of time. So people paid, a set amount, and they got bread and a pastry, a dessert or something on a set
Right,
schedule.
right.
So I think it probably helped guarantee his revenue for the winter months when the market's not in
Not
season.
right.
And kept him in front of it. So that's kind of what I was trying to figure out how to
Right.
take that and apply it to what you're doing to help him try to keep people coming back,
Right,
on a regular basis instead of, well, I had a salad once and it was great,
right.
Now I'll go to Walmart, buy stuff and draw half of it. But
Right.
I make my own salad. So, anyway, that's kind of what I was going.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah.
What was the average price again for?
It ranges, one of mine was $6.75 and the other one was $9.75, because I really packed it full of all sorts of.
And that's what the consumer pays.
Yes, yes.
And so do they determine the price or you determine the price?
They determine the price.
Okay.
So they add all of their ingredients and then have a price attached to that ingredient. So when you click on that box to order, it kind of tallies it up at the bottom before you can add it to your cart, so you can see how much it's costing. Yeah.
So, do you handle the packaging? Do you supply the vendors with the materials? With
Yes,
that?
we order the jars in bulk and then at cost sell them to the vendor. Now, when you order, there is a $1 fee for the jar worked into the pricing already. So that's the only thing that vendors don't have control over, is the cost of the jars. But they don't have to worry about ordering them. I just deliver them to them and send them a bill for the cost of it.
How has this taken off at Kelly's Bakery since you've started it? I mean, what kind of lessons learned do you have so far, or an increase in people who are interested in this idea?
Well, this Monday was the first day. This is very new. We literally just launched last week. So from Thursday to Saturday, she made 19 salads that were all picked up on Monday. So she considered that a good soft opening week. So we'll see. She already has, I think there's 4 or 5 pending orders right now, and each one has 4 salads in it. So there are people trying it, and that's all I can ask for right now.
Yes. How have you been, well, I met you last, but how have you been promoting otherwise? I know you have a Facebook page, but.
That's really been the only way so far. I do plan on, once we get out of our testing phase and I start adding more vendors, I do have a whole marketing plan of doing advertising and sponsoring events and stuff like that. But right now, we just want to make sure that everything works the way that it's supposed to, and there aren't any problems with the ordering process or the whole process in general before we really spend a lot of money to get people to the site.
Well, sorry, real quick, does the vendors that are selling these for you, like Kelly's or whatever, do they have a minimum amount of marketing that they have to do for it?
No.
To help you, or no?
No, they aren't obligated to do anything.
Not even promote another social media?
Well, I mean, it would be ridiculous if they didn't, because it is, I mean, they're paying to participate, so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for them to not self-promote, adding this to their business.
I'll see if you want to put that in your contract.
Right, that's kind of.
When I do, when I do events, there's certain things, it's like, okay, these things have to take place, so that way it helps get me
Right.
maximum exposure to, then the social media side is definitely part of it.
I kind of just assume that everyone's gonna like jump on board and want to spread the word. Not the case.
Well, thank you very much for presenting. We'll close. And as we always do, our question to you is our opportunity to help you. What can 1 million cups do for you?
I think just coming and presenting and hearing everybody's feedback and ideas is invaluable. I plan to keep coming because I think it's a very energetic and fun group. And it's exciting to see what people are up to. So,
Well, fantastic. Thanks for coming in.
thank you.
Folks, we'll pause a few minutes.